Another great week of TCC Eagles men's basketball. The Eagles undefeated still yet. Panhandle play awaits. Going to be a fun 10 days here with head coach Zach Settembre. Coach, first of all, congratulations, and second of all, you ready for the grind?
Thank you, and we are. We're excited. So glad it's here. Cannot wait. Obviously, it's been a long time coming, and now we're getting ready for 16 Panhandle Conference games. First time our league is ever going to play each other 4 times each, which sounds crazy. It is crazy, but we're excited about it. We know it's going to be a true test. This league is on fire. It's the best league in the country, but that's why we've scheduled 5 tough non-conference games. Still have 1 more non-conference game to go, but excited about the challenges that lie ahead.
And you know, you mentioned it, playing everybody 4 times. You're not going to find many leagues tougher than the Panhandle Conference.
I don't think there's any, to be quite honest. We've had 3 teams already ranked in the top 25, a 4th team that's in others receiving votes. To play 12 games against teams that are all in others receiving votes or ranked in the top 25, pretty crazy. We know how tough it's going to be, but that's why we recruited the way we did. We have tremendous depth at every position. We feel really good about how we match up against everybody. Every team presents a unique challenge, but we feel like based on the work we've put in and the time and the amount of preparation that's been spent so far, we feel like we're going to have a great chance and just have to take it 1 game at a time.
For a team like yours that's trying to get back to Hutch, how much is going through this Panhandle grind going to prepare you if you are able to take that step into the national?
There's no better league or better stretch of games that will prepare us for Hutch. The problem is we have to get there, right? And that's the hard part, is beating all these really good teams. Gulf Coast, very well coached. Donnie Tyndall doing a really nice job at Chipola. They play very hard, as does Coach Gaffney's team. Northwest Florida, Coach Pierre doing great. They're very, very talented, have a really good top 7, and very talented just top to bottom. And then Pensacola is a team that Coach Payne has done a great job for a long time. They have good depth. They have 4 returners from last year's team, really good guard play. So every single night in this league really is a war. I mean, it's going to be a battle unlike anything I've ever experienced. Obviously, I've never coached against a team 4 times in one season other than Gulf Coast, our opponent tomorrow. But it's going to be tough because it's mentally a grind. Mentally and emotionally, it's going to be a different challenge, because everybody's going to know the other team's plays. Everybody's going to know the other team's personnel. So to be able to approach each game individually and not allow the previous game or the previous matchup to kind of spill in mentally, it is going to be tough. But we feel like because of the maturity and the togetherness and the toughness and the culture that we've built here, we're going to have a good chance to win each and every game. Just have to take it 1 at a time.
Plenty of time to talk about Panhandle play, but before we do it, let's take a look back at the week that was, and let's start with 2 games kind of sandwiched in between a stellar solo performance with 2 great team performances, Andrews College and, of course, the rematch against South Georgia Tech here at the Eagle Dome. Both of those games at home, both of those games you jump out really, really quickly due to some stellar play.
We've had guys so far that have come out with tremendous purpose, and we've challenged our team each and every game. We have to be ready to go from the tip. Last year's team struggled a little bit to get started with the same kind of pace that we wanted. This year's team has been a great first half team. We've held our opponents to 28 points, 20 points 3 times, and then 37 against St. Pete. But the Andrew College game, we were up 54-20 at halftime. We went on 2 big runs in the first half. And it was a game in which we felt like if we could come out and just establish our will, be really physical, go to the glass early, make sure that they understood every possession that they got was going to be a challenge, and everything that they were going to get offensively, we're going to force them to earn. When we did that early, I think we broke their spirit a little bit. But again, a nice young team. Jameson Williams does a good job, and Andrew's going to win a lot of games in the Georgia League. And the same thing for South Georgia Tech, a rematch with them. Obviously, we went up there the first game of the season at their place. They had a great crowd. Coach Chris Ballure does a great job with those guys, and they got really good guard play. 2 really good guards that can make shots, that can score off the bounce. So for us, again, it was a challenge getting our guys mentally prepared for a game that a team we had already beaten on the road, and had a great first half. Again, we're up 22 at the half against them in Americus, but struggled in the second half. Ended up losing the second half by 6. So we challenged our group, hey, let's win the second half. Let's be up at halftime, win the second half. Unfortunately, we didn't do that. We were up 44-20 at halftime and ended up winning 81-60. But proud of the fact that we got a lot of guys in that game. Everybody that saw the floor was really a contributor. And to have 5 guys score in double figures back-to-back games just really shows the balance that this team has. And if we can continue to be as focused as we have been in preparation, start the games well, we're going to put ourselves in a good position to put a nice string of wins together here to start the league play.
You know, you picked it up, and if you've been here at the Eagle Dome, if you've been one of the people that's been allowed in, you know what an emphasis this guy has put in on winning the second half, even when they're up big. Just how much of that is because of the mindset of knowing that you're about to head into conference play, and there's going to be a lot of 40-minute battles.
No question. Well, to be honest, first and foremost, with our opponent tomorrow, Gulf Coast State, we had leads in every single game we played them. So the first game in conference play at their place, we were up 14 in the second half and weren't able to close it out. The third conference game, we beat them here by 18 at our place and played great. But the third conference game we played at their place, we were up 18 in the second half and weren't able to finish. And so we know that every team in our league, Chipola, Gulf Coast, Pensacola, Northwest, all really talented. And we know that even though we've had some games so far where we've been up with big leads at halftime, and we felt like, okay, we're in control here, and we're going to play some different lineups and experiment and see some things. We know we can't do that now in Panhandle play. So getting our guys ready by playing good teams in the non-conference, and that's, again, part of being an upper echelon, top-tier program is that you're going to get everybody's best every time you face an opposition, whether it's in your league or within your region or even out of your region. So with a chance to beat a Tallahassee team that's been ranked in the top 5 all year, obviously we're getting everybody's best shot, and that's exhausting. So I'm proud of our guys by handling that challenge, understanding we are going to get everybody's best. We are the Super Bowl factor for our non-conference games, and we have one more tough one coming up after we finish round one. It's going to be a challenge, but again, we know that we're facing 40 minutes or potentially more than 40 minutes of tough basketball. Had a 3 overtime game at Gulf Coast last year. It is about consistency and getting our guys to understand that every single possession is huge. You know, we can't take any possessions off. And no matter, against Gulf Coast especially, whether you're up 20 or down 20, the game is never over.
Coach, one last thing before we move on to Panhandle play. So many great team performances in out-of-conference play, but last Saturday against St. Pete College, really a truly great individual performance. The last time we talked, we both said that El Ellis had his best basketball ahead of him this season, and he certainly seemed to play it in that game. I'm going to read this off to make sure I got it right. First of all, wanted to shout out Jeremiah Kendall because he also finished in double figures as well, but El ends up with 34 points. He's unconscious beyond the arc. He really makes the team pay at the foul line. Getting those charity stripe shots, also just knowing that he's in charge of his shooting. Just how nice was it to finally see him kind of have that game, knowing how hard you've pressed him throughout the early
Well, the one thing I want to say about El is even though he hasn't, prior to that game, had any huge scoring nights, he's still been a really good point guard. We've challenged him to be good defensively, and he has been defensively. He's met that challenge. Again, we're going to continue to challenge him to block people out and rebound. But he was great against St. Pete. And I'll say all of our guards have an ability to do that. Sean Walker, D'Angelo Ware, even Chris Hampton, the guy that's never going to be a huge scoring guy, his impact, his effort level is so valuable. So we're proud of El because we do know that El, I think he had 2 or 3 30-point games, 30-plus point games last year, and we know he can do that on occasion. And there were a couple possessions, late shot clock, where he was able to get into the lane and make a play and get to the foul line and step behind the ball screen where they went under and make the other team pay. So he's very versatile. We know how much of a weapon he is offensively. But again, because of all of our other guards, Sean Walker is as valuable because he's so solid. He doesn't try to do too much. He plays off 2 feet. He's a really good passer. He can get to the line and convert, and he's a great defender. He takes charges. D'Angelo Ware, another guy, just an unbelievable motor, plays exceptionally hard, always locked in defensively, really pushes the ball up the floor hard. So we've got good guards, and we talked about Chris and his defensive effort. Mandela Baladrakadraka's come off the bench for us in the last couple games and given us good performances. And again, other guys, like El is a guy we know because of his ability level is going to make big shots in big moments, and he wants the ball. And that's one of the many reasons that El is going to have a really nice career when he leaves Tallahassee, and hopefully whenever obviously his next stop at Louisville, you know, after that, you know, we feel like he's got a chance to be really good. So the one thing I'll say about this team, though, is we have great balance. We have great depth. And so there's never, you know, even if a team goes, okay, we're going to really try to stop El Ellis. Well, the great thing about that is we have a lot of guards. We have a lot of good players. And Jeremiah Kendall, like you said, having great games. Josh Rubio off the bench has been very productive. You can just kind of go down the line. Amir Ghalazadeh is going to be a guy that can really make shots. Eton Collins, of course, has been huge for us in being a shot maker and rebounding. We got a couple guys that are dealing with some injuries that we haven't got back yet. Tyler Poindexter, a guy that takes charges, walls up, creates contact, guards his man, makes shots. He had 3 huge threes against St. Pete that, you know, if Tyler doesn't make those threes, it's a totally different game. So we just have so many weapons and so many guys we're proud of because of their effort to this point. And every single guy on our roster has made sacrifices. And El is one of those guys. I mean, El could be taking a lot more shots and scoring more points, but he understands his position as point guard. As a facilitator, he's got to make plays, get other guys involved, make things happen. and so far he's done that. And against St. Pete, we needed him to have a big second half. 22 in the second half was huge. Making shots, we went on a huge run just because he, again, as a scorer, he's very capable. As a playmaker, he's even better. So when he's doing that, we feel like we're going to have a great chance to win. But again, I think we're so hard to guard because of our depth and the amount of guys we have that can make plays.
Coach, conference play starts. Your first stretch of, well, I was saying before we went off camera, one of the first of a handful of 4 games in 8 days, and then you were quick to remind me it's actually 5 games in 10 days going throughout this. Let's just get straight to it. Walk me through these games one by one, and it starts with a real big top 10 match.
Yeah, so tomorrow at Gulf Coast, ranked 9th in the country, really well-coached team. Phil Gaffney, probably over 500 wins at this level, and a guy that's just really consistent with his commitment to his team system. So they're going to press us for 40 minutes. In a typical Gulf Coast fashion, they were down 15 in the first half against Chipola on Wednesday night, found a way to pull that game out, and that's what every single game in our league is going to be. It's going to be a war. They beat Chipola 68-65 on a late three-pointer by Jamie Pierre-Louis, who's a really good shooter and a guy we have to make sure doesn't get going. But Gulf Coast, we know, is going to be a 40-minute game. The games last forever. It's really a war of attrition. There's so many jump balls and fouls and free throws and whistles, and it's just a game that, for this level, the system fits. It's not something you're used to seeing, so we know we have our hands full tomorrow. And then we turn right around Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Chipola at home at our place. Chipola's a team very well coached. Again, Donnie Tyndall's got his guys playing really, really hard. Very young team. They got a couple returners. Lance Irving's a good player that can get things done. They got a point guard named Jaden Zachary who's very productive. He's really good with the ball in his hands. And they got some other guys. Chris Gardner's a returner that's solid, can really defend. Carlos Lemos is a guy that can make shots. He can get downhill. And Chipola's unique because they're very long, they're very big, they really go to the glass hard. They got a kid at Chor who's physical, tough, really takes coaching. I mean, we can't say enough about these first 2 conference opponents. Both Chipola and Gulf Coast, in my opinion, are going to be nip and tuck for first place in our league. I mean, we feel like it's a league in which all 5 teams could win it. Certainly the first 2 that we play, Gulf Coast ranked in the top 10, Chipola's and others receiving votes, and has had some really good wins throughout Florida in Region 8 so far. And then we go to Northwest Florida on Thursday. So at Gulf Coast, Chipola at home, at Northwest Florida, a team that's talented. They have an Ohio State transfer, Alonzo Gaffney, who's talented, a freshman, Falou Diagne, who can step out and make threes. Their point guard, Micah Thomas, is a playmaker. He's a shot maker. They got a kid back, Marcellus Caston from Canada, who's a playmaker, a shot maker, and Jordan Smith, a guy that just picked up an offer from St. Bonaventure, who's long, athletic, can make shots, a returner from last year's team. So they're really, really deep, really talented. Coach Pierre's done a nice job getting those guys. They lost a couple last week, but then responded with a huge road win at Florida Southwestern, who was previously undefeated and ranked in the top 10 in the country. So this league is just a bear. We come back Saturday for the 4th game in 8 days to play Pensacola at our place. Pensacola is a team that's gotten a couple wins so far. They've been in every game. They lost to Northwest Florida by 6 on Wednesday night in their conference opener, and they were down 20 in the second half. Came all the way back. I think it was a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go. So we know every single night is going to be a battle. And then and mercifully, this one time we have 5 games in 10 days. We finish our non-conference schedule with a wraparound date Monday against USC Sakahatchee. Glenn Mayo, first-year head coach. Glenn's done a great job with his team. They have some returners. They have some new players that are really talented. They're undefeated. They're also ranked in the top 25. They're ranked 22nd right now. They got a tough road game at Georgia Highlands tonight. So we put together a really tough schedule in the non-conference so we'd be tested. We feel like even though the scores may not suggest that we've been tested so far, we've played really good teams and we've had to fight for everything we've gotten. And the Panhandle Conference obviously is a grind unlike any other. The coaching is tremendous. The talent is tremendous. The depth is unbelievable. So it's going to be a war. It's going to be a grind. We just have to take it one day at a time. We have to have a great practice this afternoon, be ready for Gulf Coast tomorrow. And then, quite honestly, Ryan, win or lose, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We can't get too high or too low because there are going to be highs and lows. The winner of this league is going to have 3, 4, 5 losses. Everybody knows that. And we just have to be able to, again, compartmentalize each game in and of itself, win or lose, wipe it clean, enjoy it. If we win, let it go, let it slip our mind quickly if we lose, and move on to the next one.
You almost feel like you're in Coach McLeod's shoes. You feel like a baseball manager because it seems like there's another one tomorrow.
No question, another game, another game, another game. And that's again why, like you said, if a Panhandle team or two, I think last year we got 2 to Hutch. This conference to me deserves 3 teams in Hutch this year. It's that good, it's that deep, the coaching, the players. But if we can get 2 or 3 teams to Hutch, those 2 or 3 teams are going to have a great chance to win the national championship. It's this grind in Region 8, and especially the Panhandle Conference, with playing 4 times this year, is going to test everybody. There will be no one more battle tested if we are lucky enough to get to the national tournament at the end of the year.
Zach Settembre and the TCC Eagles men's basketball team 5-0 right now. Coach, hopefully next time we talk, it's 10-0.
Amen. Good luck. Thanks, Ryan.